Hey everyone, Marsh from Consequence here. I just want to go over the Bloodbound Horror, probably the second boss in the upcoming raid. So we're just going to go over PTR testing, some strats. We're going to be looking at a Mythic VOD, but you can apply Heroic and Mythic basically together. And for a lot of the early bosses, I like to do that because this is tailored to guides, or tailored to guilds who are going to be going in the Mythic and clearing that content. And again, one thing I like to do is I like to have our Heroic strat kind of mirror the Mythic strat so you get good muscle memory. So overall, the boss is really simple. This is just a type up sheet. It basically just lists everything in the dungeon journal. You can do this yourself, but there's a few things to point out. The first thing, the big thing here, is that there's a tank mechanic, and the tank mechanic here, the boss is going to do a beam, and wherever the arms are on the boss, that's where the beam's going to go, and it's going to spin counterclockwise. So when we look at the video, I'm going to point out like what the tanks can and cannot do, and how you would split up your groups. We're going in the down phase. Other notes: Grasp from Beyond, Prio's range, but it can go in melee. And then you're going to need CCers and groups to handle ads. So hopping into the VOD here. Again, this is not me. I don't record anymore, but I'm using another hunter in the guild. So you can see here that we've kind of split up the groups into two parties. It's going to be about half and half. It will be half and half basically, unless you have like some weird DPS comp. When you're in the down phase, you can DPS the boss fully. Just one thing to note, and you can see here that these ads are spawning. Now these are fairly RNG, and the goal is, well, let's talk about this. So this is the Mythic mechanic, and this is just a spread out mechanic. Because in Heroic, what you could do is you can just clump up into two groups, and you can just AoE heal them really easily. In Mythic, they're trying to spread you out a little more, so you can't do that. So we spread out, and then there's going to be a frontal. You can see the frontal going off here, and we saw that the ads were spawning over here as well, and you can see their shadows here. So the first group got like an absolute RNG godsend pool, where the ads are just where they are and they don't have to do anything. And now what you're going to see is you're going to see the main group, and the main group is going to get this mechanic here. This mechanic is just going to follow you, and there's a few ways you can do this. So one way you can do it is you can have the range behind and the melee in front, and if you don't have it, you will jump ahead like this, and then the melee will come through here, have it, and the range will come through here. If you don't want to move, you can just go in a little triangle formation, and I think if you're really precise, you can just go back and forth, but triangle is probably way safer. If you want to be really safe, you can do a box, but that's even more movement. But you can see here that the range is moving forward, and the melee is moving forward and just moving it, and the rest of the group is up here. You can also see in this corner that this ad is separate, and we're going to talk about the ads when this group goes. But what happens is there will be a group of ads together, and then there will be one ad far away, and then the boss will do his frontal cone, or his like slicer ability. You want your main group, quote unquote main group. You want the group going down. Basically everyone that's going down is going to take out this big group, except for one, maybe two people that are going to split off and go deal with this ad solo. Some classes are a lot better than that than others, because you need to have the ability to go over the beam if your tanks either mess up or they get a weird spawn. So you need to get over the beam, and things like, I think Blink's pretty hard to hit, but it can do it, like Blinks, ports, turtles, or you need to have like crazy range. Like I think druids have so much, druids can like mass entangle over the beam as well. So you can see here that we have some notes like frost mages will be the best, and then hunter, druid probably. Hunter is probably better than druid for sure, and then shaman can also do it too. But again, if you can't immune to the beam, it gets harder and harder. So mage and hunters are probably the absolute best classes, and then druids are also really good if they can get there with vortex. So you see here, we have the beams, and wherever his arms were is what's going to happen, and then they're going to move counterclockwise. Now, the tanks want to point this in a way. You can see how the down group just killed the ads, and now the beam's going to chase them, and it's going to go here. So let's back it up. So this is the second ad here, and then you see he has the beam here, the tank. So when the thing moves, this beam won't hit here until like a really long time, making it virtually free. So both groups get the spread out mechanic, which is the mythic ability. They're going to get this grasping again. They're trying to organize. This is testing, but we're trying to put range in the back, melee in the front, and then anyone who doesn't have it go really far ahead. And now here we're going to see the spawns. Okay, so we see one here, two here, one there, one there. So this is not like an ideal spawn. So we're going to see how this group handles it. Here's the frontal. It's spread into frontal. He's going to get in. This whole second group's going. They're going to turn around, and the idea here, there's kicks on these ads that needs to be taken care of, and they're going to group these two ads together. Now these ads are going to be taken care of, and then this far ad, you can see here, is being CC'd. So you see a vortex, and as the vortex is bringing all the things together, the beam's pointed in a way where the beams are going to come in late. Now the main group's gotten here, and it's going to clean everything up. If any of these ads hit the boss, it's very, very bad. So range need to watch out. Again, this was like even a harder spawn because we had two separating. So when you're doing groups, at least on Mythic, I think Heroic it's pretty easy. But but in Mythic you might need two people who could potentially lock down CC. So you can see the Druid here's used to CC there. And the main group or the down group is going through and they're clearing all the ads when the beam is chasing them. And then the last thing of this boss, whoa. Oh, he's testing turtle. The last thing of this boss is this ring. You can see here that you just need to move to the outer ring. This blood on the ground destroys you. So you need to make sure you jump over it or something. You cannot just run through it easily. You will take a lot of healing and maybe die if you mess up. So I think we were like gating in and running out, but you can play around with what you want to do there. Again here you can see that okay, there's 3 ads here and 1 ad here, and there's a spread mechanic. The first group's going in again, and what's going to happen is they're going to deal with these 3, and then 1 guys should be peeling off, and they're going to be CCing this over here. You can see someone running. I don't know who that was, but they're run over, and you can see the little shadows. They're CCing it. They're stopping it. It looks like a monk, which is probably not good, but it's okay. The other group's now moving over, and they're going to be CCing and stopping it as well. So again, you really need someone to look out for that. And again, the tanks are positioning the beam where the bigger group, the bigger ad group, is when they're running over, it's going to be chasing them, maximizing time. I think they die on the next ad set, but we can play it out. We're going to move forward ahead. Okay, so you see here, 3 here, 1 here. So the tank's going to point it right at this. With the main group, it's going to be or the down group, it's going to be a spread. Spread, get in. And then they're going to cleave these 3 down. They're going to get the kicks. There's 2 ad groups coming here. There still needs to be CC in this main group too. Like you can't just like ignore that. But the cleave classes are going to come through. Someone ran over and is solo CCing the other sets. Let's see if we see that. You can see the beam here. See how he pointed it, and now the beam's going away. They're going to spread out. I think that 1 or 2 players actually killed the ad, so they're actually good. It looked like it was a druid. So 1 or 2 players went and killed the ad, which also works if you want to assign like CDs there. They killed the ad, and now they're free. I think they're going to fall over here just the dot damage. But that's basically the fight. So if you want to keep it simple, 2 groups. See how he's running out of the ring. Let's see if he runs through it. But like this guy definitely took a tick. Like look how much damage this does if you just run over it. That's like 25% of your health. So you're taking 2 or 3 ticks. It's not good with all the ticking damage on top of that. So again, like you see here, there's 3 here, 1 here. So the general gist is set up your groups. You're going to want to have good CCers in both groups. You need to have, for the stackable ads, if you want to call them, you want to have like 1 or 2 like CCs, like a sweep or a chaos brand or whatever, just to like lock them down. The little ads, and then AoE them down, and then you want like a good AoE CCer, Druid Vortex, Frost Mage that can just slow everything, a Hunter can bind and tar trap. You want like one of those guys to move over to the solo ad and handle that until the rest of the group goes over. Tank positions the beam where it doesn't affect the down group, moves counterclockwise. And one thing that we took a note of after the testing is if you have a Holy Paladin, you can beacon, if you're going down, you can beacon the person that's going to go solo, so they need a lot less healing. So that's just a little tip. Other than that, that's the boss. Very simple. And rest of the guides are coming really soon. So thanks for watching and good luck.